they say, versus all things reflective as the moon is. It's the difference almost basically between like looking at a mirror and a brick wall. Like which one are you going to get more shine off of?
No, I follow you, but what I'm still saying is that that's still simply an explanation of the idea of what we're talking about, because there's no demonstration of what you're saying. So let's say you were a baller and you gave that explanation for Earthshine. You still can't prove it. It's still something you're just.
Well, no. That explanation actually contradicts a baller's explanation. They would never give that explanation. It contradicts it. Do you see what I'm saying? What I said contradicts the standard, the model, as they're saying. They say that the Earth doesn't have shine, therefore we're able to have basically a view of the moon, for example, like in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? But if Earthshine was to be what they say that it is, given what our atmosphere and all of our waters and everything else, versus what the surface, of the moon is and whatnot, there's always going to be far, far, far too much brightness, basically putting the moon out of focus if everything was as the heliocentrists say that it is.
So you're saying we should never see the moon during the day?
And probably not even at night, just because the overwhelmance of size and gloss, basically, of Earth, basically, as it would be in the globe model, would never allow for you to be able to see a flat finish, like matte looking moon.
Hey guys.
I mean, give me a break.
Hey, Tara.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, if you're like looking at a chrome vehicle and there's a brick next to it, but you're shining 10,000 watt metal halide toward the car, you're never going to be able to get your eyes to focus on that brick sitting on the ground next to the tire, because the glare off the car is just going to be far too extreme,
I get what you mean. Sounds about right.
Matte finish versus gloss. I mean, those are pretty simple, like to compare.
Honestly, who knows what the hell the moon is up there?
Like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. The fact is, it's matte finish versus, if they say that our Earth is, essentially glossy when compared to the matte finish of the moon, and then the size difference, and then all of our water basically creating reflectivity, you're never going to be able to see a matte finish moon as they say that, it is, basically, with all of the reflectivity off the Earth, basically.
I'm going to restate my position that the moon is proof of intelligent design, in that it's like somebody's sticking two fingers up at science and saying, "Go on then, dickheads, explain this." And it seems to defy science at every corner.
Reminds me of somebody flipping the bird.
Yeah. And then we have stupid people like the Rumpus.
I'm not
going to
lie. Some of those close-ups, man, it does look like it could be just a big rock up there, But
sometimes it looks
doesn't act like
fake as hell.
I mean,
It operates in too many ways that appear fake as hell, basically, given what they say.
It's just, how the hell is it just disappearing?
I mean, the biggest issue for the moon for me is, why does it go missing for 3 days of new moon phase?
Correctly.
Yeah, the phases are just, I don't know.
And the fact that it doesn't eclipse in the method that it should, there should be eclipse going on, basically, like all over the place, like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the reason why Mark Taylor's fucking £1,000 bet was originated, because their explanation for why it doesn't happen is for the 5% ecliptic plane. Now, I accept the explanation, but I don't accept that the ecliptic plane even exists, because it appears to me that the ecliptic plane is the excuse for why it doesn't happen every month, rather than the reason, because it should happen every month, pretty much. We should all see an eclipse at some point, not necessarily every single person on the planet, but the planet itself should see it every single month. But the reality is,
it should be lasting days, plane, like 3.5 days or something.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Was Not Was, Sleeping Warrior, Stopping Traffic in My Rasta Hat, Spurs Chemo, Travis, Ranty Flat Earth, Jose, Chocolate Saying, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Yeah. Thank you. Morning.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Shout out.
IO.
FE chick.
Shout out retracted.
Ranty.
You can't just
I do
retract
not
every
want to have
genre.
to fly over there.
No more shout outs to her until she joins the show.
Yeah. No, we finished dinner last night and we went walking around and there was an art gallery, and so we walked in and she's got business cards made up that are flat smack business cards. So she proceeded to flat smack the gallery host, and yeah, it was nice.
That's awesome. Oh, fake Travis.
Oh, got fake plain truth.
Fake Travis. Fake Travis.
Get him out. Get him out. Get him out.
Are you all paying attention to the back chat? Probably not.
I got it. I got it on my queue.
Oh, Tara.
Hey, Tara.
That's Earth Flattener.
Hi.
Earth Flattener on a different account. Cool. So I think we've got a full panel now, so we can stress not. Do a quick bit of housekeeping. Any signs of curvature?
No. Timothy Osman say he saw lake pictures show curvature.
Oh?
Pictures show curvature? What, actual Earth curve?
Yeah, he say the buildings are blocked, depends on the height
No.
of the picture. So he say it's curved.
Not buildings are blocked. That would be obstruction.
Right.
That's not curvature.
Only in the fish eye lens of the beholder.
I like it. Any signs of Earth rotation?
Nah.
No. They say sunsets.
Yeah.
Sun setting. Okay.
Right,
Yeah,
let me just address the sunset.
sunrises.
So the sun
Let me address the sunset.
sets. The clue is in the name. Sunsets. They're not called Earth turns.
And the other thing is, if you look at a sun from high elevations, you see it as a pinprick. You don't see it as this big, massive blob. So when they describe the lunar illusion, which is where the moon rises over the horizon and appears to be massive, the same thing's happening with the sun. Because when we see the sun setting, it probably is going into the distance. But because of this, it's almost like the creator, whoever the creator is sticking two fingers up at us and saying, hey, come and explain this one, boys. Because the sun does disappear into the distance along a flat plane. But the reason why it doesn't have the reduction in angular size is because of something to do with the atmosphere itself. And the proof of that is that when you go into elevation and look at the same sun or the same moon, they're a pinprick. So for whatever reason, when we're looking across our plane, it seems to be magnified almost perfectly at the rate that it's disappearing into the distance. And at the end of the day, if they're going to have numerous just so stories like refraction and looming and all this nonsense, it just seems to be the case that we can have one too. And I think that's the only one that we'll ever need. It just appears to be the case that it doesn't change its angular size. Yeah, but it's something to do with the atmosphere. It's not because it's not reducing in angular size. The atmosphere is doing something, and the proof is look at it, the same sun and the same moon at elevation, and you see them as pinpricks in the sky.
I mean, as much as they are just so stories, I really liked Jaren's current explanation. for how we observe the skies. And, you know, he didn't use the word dome other than to justify that he's not saying there's a dome. He's just saying these are the effects that we would see based on our peripheral vision. And I really liked the concepts that he put across there. Ultimately, it's still a just so story. It's not being validated scientifically. He's just giving his take on what he thinks it could be, so that there is at least some explanation for these things, where I would just say, I don't know. That would be my explanation. I don't know, but I can pummel their explanation. Whereas at least people like Jaron are trying to explain it and using sound, reasoning and logic to do so. That's not to say that I accept his explanation for the same reasons I could probably pummel the globe explanations for the same thing. You know, most things can be picked apart if you try hard enough. But there's people looking at other explanations, is my point. You don't have to accept them. You know, you can entertain them because it gives you a way of looking at the world slightly differently. And some people do need an explanation for how the sun works. I'm happy to go, I don't know what that big light in the sky is or how it works. And as far as going out and testing it, well, you know, you're as good at doing that, everyone on the panel, as I am, right? You know, you can look at it with a camera and we can get filters and that's about it, right?
I'm trying giving some arguments in whatever their arguments are in favor of these points. So if they think they can do better, they can join the show. We can continue with the housekeeping in the meanwhile.
Yeah, but sunsets, sorry, Jose, not to piss on your bonfire twice in the same housekeeping session, but no, they're not Earth turns. They're sunsets.
Oh, I got more arguments in their favor.
Oh, really? You got a whole stack of them? Oh, I'll save my save my condemnation till after then. Righto. Any evidence of a gas pressure without a container? Notwithstanding the fact that people around the so-called globe think they live on a sphere world with gas pressure. That's what we're all breathing. But beyond that, there's a vacuum, a significantly lower pressure system. So any evidence that you can have that gas pressure without the container alleged in this bullshit sphere world that everyone thinks they're on.
Well, unless the entire space universe is not actually space, but just low gas pressure, which would be very close to the Earth atmosphere, then no vacuum next to regular gas pressure. That's never gonna.
Well, Red Rhetoric's love going to the rocket launches, and he likes standing in the crowd and recording the rockets going up. He doesn't care about the little bit where they go horizontal and they start going down. He said the rocket is going up, therefore vacuum air pressure without a container.
Oh, that's a formal logical fallacy. If a rocket can go up in my camera, then it's travelling into a gas pressure without a vacuum, without a barrier. I see rockets going into the upward part of where I can see in my field of view. Therefore, we have gas pressure without a container. Just another formal logical fallacy based on what he can see in his viewing lens. Pathetic. These people are constantly falling victim of formal logical fallacies. So they affirm the consequent. If this thing is true, then that is true. That thing is true, so this thing is definitely true. Normally sphere Earth.
But Nathan, how can we prove it's a sphere if we're not allowed to beg the question?
It's the only way to conclude you're on a sphere is to beg the question, Anthony. It's the only way. In Are You Trust, Globeheads.
But Nathan, how do we prove that we're on a sphere if we can't beg the question?
Well, you can't prove you're on a sphere because we're not on a sphere.
But we need to beg the question, Nathan.
Well, you can. In Are You Trust, Radius Dominus Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus Arwin. Go in peace. In Are You Trust. Sod off and believe in R if you want to. But seriously, if people accept that it's a belief, then I'm cool with that. You know, if people want to believe any deity or God, that's fine too. So long as you accept that it's a belief and don't try and force me to believe what you believe, then everyone's cool, right? Well, that's not how it is with the heliocentric system. You must believe in R. Anyway, let's move on.
Armen.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No. Absolutely none.
Yes.
The only evidence they've got is 8 miles deep.
Go on, Arwen.
A presupposed spherical Earth? Of course there is.
Not evidence of the presupposition that people use to beg the question and say Earth is a sphere. Not evidence of that. Evidence of the molten core at the centre of that presupposed spherical Earth that people think that they're on and beg the question of.
Well, if you're allowed to beg the question of R and presuppose it's a sphere, then yeah, sure, there should be a molten iron core there.
Can you show me some evidence of that molten iron core at the centre of that presupposed spherical Earth?
Well, on the same level that I can show you evidence of R.
Is that a no?
Really nice pictures.
Which would be none.
Can show you really nice pictures of spheres.
You can probably show me the sun as well, right, Arwin? Look, there's the sun, therefore R. Look, if I move around on this flat plane, following that sun, I've got a circle. And I'm going to say that circle's spherical. God damn it, we were travelling around the outside edge of a sphere. I know it, we were. I presuppose it.
See, you get it.
Yeah, what do you mean I get it?
Well,
there's a man
that has been worshipped by the NASA fanboys and the millennials. His name is Elon Musk, and he doesn't go with that narrative. He say the Earth is a ball of lava with a very thin crust. So you better believe him because he put a Tesla car in space.
Sounds delicious, don't you think? Sounds like a tasty
put it
meal.
like that.
Sounds yummy. It's got the molten crust. Yum, yum, yum.
He also takes LSD like he's dropping eye drops of Visine.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
There is none.
No evidence? Or no sun?
Nope.
No.
There is no distance to the sun.
Booyah! Any evidence of the presupposition? Let's get to the end of this hellish nightmare of housekeeping. Any evidence of the R value?
None.
Nah.
No.
Well, there is evidence that it is a presupposition. Yeah. There is evidence that it is a presupposition.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Hey.
Once I talked to Brenda and she told me that Earth has been measured, in the surface. The whole Earth is being mapped. Therefore, they can conclude it has a radius and therefore R.
That's a lovely
the same
story.
Brenda who says corpuscular rays are parallel.
Yeah.
That one.
We done with housekeeping yet?
So it saith in the book of the schooling, readeth by Brenda.
Radio Sanctus.
Causation is correlation. Amen.
Yeah.
Yes, that can be our mantra. Correlation.
Now that's even
causation.
denounced by these scientists and priesthood.
If she was just a bit more famous,
Which makes it even better that she says it.
It would be worth popularising it if she was just that little bit more famous. So you've got Red's rhetoric. Math is reality. No, it isn't, dickhead. Anyway, we've also got Brenda with correlation is causation, but she's just not famous enough to plug it.
And then Rumpus, the body of science, told me.
What evidence have you got for this? Pause. The body of science.
Utter moron.
The body of science is self-evident.
The body of science. Body of science.
Come on, guys.
You're the
you all know the body of science is self-evident.
All right, so I have a beautiful creature who says that she'll join the panel to say hi if anybody wants to drop real quick.
Ooh.
Pass.
I'll drop.
Jose, you're a nice guy, man.
I already did my damage. I tried to put some arguments in favor of the globe, but if you guys think you can do better, then you talk in chat, and some people will be able to drop. Thank you very much.
Have a nice day. Math is reality, all right?
Math is reality.
Just
Boom.
accept R into your life, Jose, and you'll do a lot better.
Audio, bitch.
Those guys still alive? What's going on with those
Shout
guys?
out to Caroline AZFE. chick.
Hey, panel. It's Caroline.
Hello, Caroline. Very good to have you.
Miss Caroline. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Nathan.
You're making Travis embarrassing to be around.
I heard you guys thought I was a figment of his imagination.
We were getting that. We were getting to that.
Yeah.
We couldn't find your channel anywhere, so.
Oh, because I'm Caroline AZFE chick. I think he forgot to tell you Caroline comes first.
I'm not convinced. I want Travis to talk at the same time.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was gonna. Right, I was wondering when that was gonna happen.
We've had voice changers on here before.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Yeah.
Gotta be
No,
careful.
but we had a great experience last night. We came across someone who was raising funds for abused children, and she said, "You guys want to hear my spiel?" And we said, "As long as you listen to ours first."
And she did. It was awesome. We had like 15 minutes with her.
Yeah, she had a friend who was already into flat Earth, so she was.
I would have made her give me proof of R before I listened to hers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Caroline, could you ask him to stop shouting you out every time he comes on?
No way. Why would I say that?
It's starting to make me feel sick.
Seriously, it's getting 7th grade, like Lady in the Trampish.
I think that's alcohol poisoning, Les.
I think it's really sweet.
It's love poisoning. Yeah.
No, I don't listen to him. I think it's adorable.
Yeah, Lady in the Tramp.
If the boss says it's okay, then he'll continue.
Well, instead of him shouting you, why don't you turn up every day? That'll be bad.
Because I have a job and I have to go to work. No, your show's at a bad time, Nathan. So I'm usually on my way to work. But
that's good, man. That means you can listen on the way in.
I do, and I can, but I really have to pay attention to, traffic. So I can't be on the panel. That's all I'm saying.
Traffic is negligible.
So does this mean that we can't retract shoutouts anymore?
Damn straight.
That's right.
Oh.
Your retraction is retracted.
Yeah.
I'm still retracting.
Thanks whoever jumped off to let me come in and prove that I'm a real person. I appreciate that.
Was it?
Shout out to Jose.
I don't think
Thanks, Jose.
Jose. Never forgive you, Jose. I'll never forgive
you.
We
were beginning to wonder whether you were a presuppositional girlfriend. A bit like Radius.
Yeah.
P-Mars has had a few of those.
Rasta, are you going to make it to LA at all tomorrow or Saturday?
Yeah. My wife's trying to see if her work schedule is going to permit, but I did get the info, and so we're still trying to check the logistics.
Okay, that'd be good to see.
We're going to be there, but it's sold out.
Oh no,
if sold out.
Caroline, how long have you been a flat earther?
I'm a 2018 baby, just this year.
Oh really? How many months?
It's January. So what is this? 9 months. 9 months.
So then the next question is, how did you find flat Earth? What led you to the topic?
So I work with somebody who always seems to open my eyes to things I hadn't thought of before. And I found out later she was holding on to flat Earth for a year before she brought it up to me. But she said, "So what do you think about flat Earth?" And I just I barrel laughed. I was like, "Are you kidding? I have a brain. Why would I even consider that?" Just like everybody else. And she goes, "Well, I'm just saying, maybe look it up on YouTube." And I'm rare in that flat Earth was my first conspiracy. I had no conspiracy before flat Earth, so it really opened my eyes to everything else.
Yeah. I see how those stars were lined up right there.
You and Travis have that in common, huh?
Cool. And then I realized what a shady place we live in, and so this year's been kind of a depressing year, realizing all the evil in the world.
So you guys are splitting a red pill?
Oh, I took my whole red pill.
They're splitting a red pill.
Oh, come on, Caroline. It's not all evil, not all of it.
It's
There's
just
still some good people between.
Yeah, but so let me just give you a little. My background is I was a patriot from the day I was practically born. My father was an F-4 Phantom pilot. He was in both Vietnam and Korea. I joined the Air Force. 4 of my brothers were in the Air Force. So we all were very much into, our government is the good guys because we were part of that. And so when I realized what the truth was, I never would join the Air Force if I was 20 years old today, knowing what I know now. So
Nice
Yeah,
I hear that.
Yeah, nice one being anti-establishment.
Yeah.
So I just
my
love
poor
the
daughter,
idea of saying that you're the good guy because, that's the team you're on. We must be the good guys because that's the team I'm on. Like, that sounds like a great P to Q, Q to P thing. Like, we must be good because I'm good. Well,
right.
I mean, give me a break. Give me a break.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's why all the ballers don't see it because they would never, most of them, lie to the population. So, and they're part of that belief. So that's why I think it's so hard for them to.
Hello, Caroline. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. So, how far deep down the rabbit hole are you? I mean, you said you've never been into any of the conspiracy. What about 9/11? What's your view?
Oh, I'm all the way down. Yeah, this year was my year of realizing pretty much all the conspiracies.
So you made it 17 years thinking that 9/11 was as they say it was?
Yeah, I've got a brother who's a freaking pilot, and he was...
What does that have to do with 9/11?
Hold on, don't attack it just yet.
Yeah, slow down there, Ross. She was just about to tell you, man.
So because my brother is a pilot, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with 9/11, but I have very, very intellectual people in my family, and so when they know that Bin Laden was behind 9/11, I just kind of like, oh, okay, well, obviously you're educated more than I am, so you must be right. And
okay, so let's back up. Was it Flat Earth then 9/11, or 9/11 then Flat Earth?
Oh no, it was Flat Earth first, and then it was everything else.
Okay, so what do you understand about 9/11? What was an insight? What happened exactly?
I believe that our American government did that to so that we could go into. Oh, I think that there was probably bombs set off in all of the buildings that fell, and our government did it so that we could go and get probably opium in Afghanistan.
What do you think about Shanksville, Pennsylvania? What do you think about Shanksville, Pennsylvania?
There's no evidence there was even a plane that hit the ground there.
Music to my ears.
I love women with a brain. I love it.
And then okay, hang on. The Pentagon. Go to the Pentagon.
The Pentagon. Oh yeah. How did a plane get through that little tiny hole? Right. That was probably a missile. Yeah, I think it was a missile.
Excellent.
I like it.
You've done good, Travis. You've done good.
Yeah, I know, right? Are you guys satisfied? Come on now.
Do you know what's in Afghanistan more than poppies? Do you know what's in Afghanistan more than poppies?
No. What? Oil? I don't know.
Lithium.
Yep.
Oh, lithium?
And Alex Jones called out Bin Laden by name in July before 9/11. It's a fact.
Who called out Bin Laden by name?
Alex Jones did in July of 2001.
Huh.
In the July before the September 11th, Alex Jones called Bin Laden out by name and said the government's going to use him as a patsy.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, he had insight.
Wasn't that what he got that from William Cooper, probably, don't you think?
What'd you say?
Didn't he probably got that from William Cooper? Didn't William Cooper call out Bin Laden quite a way before it was?
Not like that.
Yeah, not the same. Like this was.
He did
he called it out word for word.
Yeah, as he may have been named as like a person of interest that could have gotten involved in something, but Alex did literally call it out.
They replicated Project Northwoods by about 10 times.
It's on video.
Yeah, it's on video.
But what's your reason of why they lie then? Why? I mean, if people were to ask, well, why would they lie? Why would they lie?
Oh my God! What have they been able to do to Americans since 9/11? You guys, What have they been able to do? They've been able to implement the TSA.
Change the tone.
No, they took control of America from the inside out. They implemented the TSA.
Hello?
Oh, were you asking me?
Yeah.
Ask your question again.
If they ask you why, why would they lie about the shape of the Earth? How do you respond to that?
When people ask that, I say it's to control us and to just keep us happy in our jobs and our lifestyle, so that we don't question the government.
Well, if you believe that land is finite and you believe that oil is finite because we all live on a finite sphere, then you can create a scarcity argument for money that makes everybody enslaved by economic slavery, essentially.
Artificial scarcity. That's what it's called.
Yeah, or fraud.
Yeah, if anybody's interested.
Control scarcity.
What's your opinion on the flat Earth so far? Like the movement, the people in it. Do you have any opinions on it, or?
There's a crap ton of drama. I'll tell you that.
But all that drama generally comes from one place. Just ignore that one place, and then most of the drama goes.
Let us say her opinion on the drama.
I see the drama from several different places, actually. So it seems like in any conspiracy community, everybody's suspicious, and I've been accused of things. I've been accused of being a plant before by very well-known people in the flat Earth community. So it's annoying that way, that you have to prove yourself to people.
Yeah, Pete Shea.
No,
it's because we care about Travis, and so basically we're going to watch his back, basically, and if you don't turn out to pan out to be smooth, then
it is a conspiracy, right? The shape of the Earth, it is a conspiracy.
Are you guys my bros?
Love you, Travis.
Would you not say it's a conspiracy that Caroline? Like they're hiding the shape?
Yeah, I think
my wife just said shout out to Flat Earth Chick AZ.
Oh, hi. Thanks.
She's Desi Bakes Cakes. She's in the chats a lot.
Nice.
So will you be going to the conference, the next conference this year?
Oh, hell yeah. I've got the VIP tickets. I'm trying to get Travis upgraded to a VIP ticket. So, yeah, you know what? I actually had my ticket. Woo! That was shrill.
Somebody make me coffee.
I have had my ticket since March, so I was planning to go for a long time. I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is exciting.
Is anybody from any of our European community going to be there?
The Colorado meet.
Right, of course.
Wait, so you got into Flat Earth in January, and by March you had tickets to the convention.
I was convinced within about an hour after my friend told me to look it up.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Once it snaps, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it didn't take me long at all.
Yep. I hear you.
I'm more suspicious that it took you 17 years to question 9/11.
I was the same way.
God, I was so angry that I believed that shit for so long.
Good answer. Travis has no excuse other than being a trucker.
I believed it very strongly when it happened, but after like 2 months, like somebody just bumped into me and just showed me loose change of a guy that I thought was really cool. So yeah, when you're in that kind of setup, you tend to be dragged right in there, and yeah, that opened up some real big shockers. Although my family was already telling me, like, yeah, they're all liars and politicians, and it's not what it seems. But they didn't really talk about the details or anything. But I didn't trust them because, yeah, they were my family, and I was like a wise ass. I thought I knew everything better.
Well, is it easier for Europeans to doubt the 9/11 narrative? Just because of
yes, it depends on the region.
Necessarily, I think a lot of people here who still believe 11's a real thing.
It depends on the region. Depends on the type of characters.
There's still a lot of people here in America that still believe that crap.
Yeah.
But Caroline, you say you came to Flat Earth after 1 hour. Wouldn't you say that's kind of what's the word? Gullible?
Premature.
Yeah, I guess you could call me gullible if you want to, but when
I'm saying, I mean, I would have thought you tell someone the Earth is flat and they say, "Oh, that's absurd," and you would have to obviously research or look at something to convince. What does she say that convinced you?
Well, okay, so I consider the
so in
source
my mind,
one thing.
And she needs commending. That's really good. But what could you say in an hour?
I was able to look at the high balloon footage and videos, and when I saw that, I just eyes, and then I watched some more, and I was like, oh my god. So it was really just the videos of watching that, and then that's when I started listening to other people. But when I saw that with my own eyes, and it was, I mean, I guess you could say that any Hollywood movie could fake stuff, but when I saw that with the sun and everything moving around, I think it was dog cam or something like that. That was pretty convincing to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose this day and age now, after 4 or 5 years, it's become a lot easier for people.
And then if you mix that with the basic arguments of how planes work on a ball and the physics of water, all of that, when you start just putting all of that together, it really, if you really are honest about it, it shouldn't take long.
No, you're right. I mean, that's going to upset. The reason why I'm highlighting it, not to attack you, Caroline, is to show the ball earthers how easy, how simple to understand the flat earth is. They seem to think you need equations, mass observations. And you just need to go through, through simple methods or steps, and you'll be like, well, yeah, that makes absolute sense. I'm thinking why it's probably taken us so long, the originals, is because of the peer pressure.
There wasn't enough people with us.
The what?
There wasn't enough people with us on our side to tell you how stupid it is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so in the early days, it was like, well, you don't want to stand out there. But yeah, I suppose today is a lot easier for someone to digest, information. It's just so much out there now. But yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's good that you're saying that, because the ball earthers, they don't seem to think that it's possible. Like you could just speak to somebody and tell them the earth is flat. They question it, show them what proof, what evidence there is, and they convert pretty quickly. But yeah, thank you, kind of thing. That's fantastic.
Did I pass?
No, it's more for the ball earthers that are listening. Because
I know, I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, I debate.
At this point, the answer is still test isn't over.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I've only just met you for the first time right now, and I'm just going by the ball earthers that I speak with, and I say to them, well, you could convince anybody just almost immediately, and they won't have it. So you're saying that it was a very short time, and for me, that's fantastic. So yeah, it doesn't take long to convince someone of the shape of the earth. Yeah.
All right. Well, she's on globation for 30 days, Travis. Basically, if she goes 30 days without getting in any, blue supersonic space testicle trouble, then it might work. But other than that, 30 days globation period.
Heard.
It's terrible. Yeah. Okay, if we're gonna start about that, then yeah, we're also gonna need some proof of personal curvature.
Evidence of personal curvature. You're ruthless, Arwen. You are ruthless.
Sorry, I had to.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
Evidence
I hang out in Poncho.
Earthling curvature.
I hang out in Poncho Pete's, so I'm used to this kind of crap.
Oh, see, that's
okay.
That's literally the gutter over there. That's like the gutter. That's literally the gutter.
So is that where you found her?
That's like the worst bar in town. Literally the worst bar in town.
Poncho.
What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Hey, we Travis and I actually have a cool story of how we met. Did you tell them, Travis?
No, we're not interested.
Oh.
I am.
Caroline.
I'm interested.
Karen B
Yes,
says
please.
hi.
We're just hoping that you get him to stop shouting you out.
Hi, Karen. I love Karen. She's awesome.
No, but when we talk
hang out with you
about giving people, because we were just talking about confidence. So people like Poncho, they give people confidence to talk about it. People are absolutely petrified to talk about the shape of the Earth. So when you see Poncho making light of it, 24 hours a day, it gives other people, that oomph to say, well, I can also speak about it, and that's what's happened. Because he's obviously been here from the start, day in, day out, pushing the flat Earth, and other people have watched. And what is he doing?
It can be a turnoff to new people, though, basically, because they come in perhaps like as trying to be on the more intellectual side of things, and they just see like a bunch of that, and are just like, wow, like it's kind of like when you're deciding which party to go to, like. You're going to look at who's going in which door at which party.
Yeah, at the same time, you need variety, right? He has an audience, so you need to, this needs to go across the board for everybody. This isn't just for intellectuals. This is for people who, just for anybody, right? Anybody who can do science. So, say that,
His chat is cool. I've been on there a couple times.
Yeah, he's doing a lot.
And I remember now I remember that's why I've heard Caroline before. You're the same Caroline that's over there. Now I recognize your voice.
I think there's only one of me right now in the community. I haven't met another yet. It's only a matter of time. Yeah. There'll be another Caroline, and then, yeah.
I hear you. I'm the only
when we go mainstream.
So.
I'm immediately making a Caroline soccer account.
Caroline, have you debated with any born earthers?
You'll have one by the end of the day.
Caroline.
What did you ask me?
Have you debated any borders, or have you discussed it with any borders? What's your opinion on it?
Yeah. I have a brother actually who's not talking to me right now.
Okay.
So it's my brother who's a ER doc. So he's got a lot of years of indoctrination, and he pretty much thinks. He actually told me that he thinks I'm mentally disturbed and something.
Tell him how he's going to get around 7.96 inches of missing curvature per mile squared.
I really wish he would come on this panel because this panel is a place for him. But he doesn't want to be bothered by it.
No, he would get eaten alive, like in a really, really bad way.
It would just hurt him even more and hate everything.
Yeah,
so
make him bad.
He'd quit his job.
No, he would just hate us and you probably even more.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably
well, what I'm saying is because he brings up a lot of the baller arguments that you hear every day, and you guys would be more equipped to shoot him down, I think.
Well, I mean, because he got those arguments when he was in third grade, and so it doesn't, take much to defeat those arguments, if you want to call them that. It's like pushing somebody in a wheelchair down a flight of stairs and then saying that you need a world championship belt, like, because you're, the king of the world.
Caroline, give Nate 2 hours with your brother, and he'll be. I think that would be it.
I wish he was open to it. I really do.
Boats go over the curve.
He was in I think the Caribbean or somewhere on vacation, and he went to the beach and he took a picture of this island that he saw, and then he went up onto his balcony that overlooked the beach and took another picture, and he sent it to me, and he's like, he says, see how much you can see better when you're up on the balcony. That's curvature. And I said,
because he went up 10 feet.
Obstruction is curvature. Classic.
Yeah, obstruction. And I said, no. I said, do you not understand that the atmosphere is very thick? It's almost like a soup full of water and other things. And he laughed. He just thought that was the most ridiculous thing he'd ever heard. So,
and that's when you say that is the definition of thick.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not really just the atmosphere. That's just how far you are limited to see. But the biggest part is that down to the ground or next to a surface, next to the ocean, because you're looking past that surface, there's a specific optical effect that sets in, causes an optical slant, and it's basically called Airy's diffraction, and it causes an obstruction. It only works, or it works more, when you're looking past a flat surface. And it works you can miniaturize it. You can have a camera right next to a flat table, and then yeah, if you put it right, you will notice that even the front of the table will be obstructing the back of the table.
And you get enhancements over
because
water.
you're close enough to the flat surface. It's very interesting.
Caroline?
Sorry. Still there?
On mute. She's on mute. She might have had to talk to somebody.
I'm going to drop now. Nice to meet you, Caroline. Yeah, nice.
She had to take another piece of red pill.
I scared her away.
Yeah, you probably have.
Yeah,
I don't think it's naive, Spurs, to figure out that it's flat. Did you say in an hour? Because for me, it was even quicker than that. I was watching a Math Powerland video. He mentioned, "Hey Tommy,
what's up, man?
You hear us?
Check.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had to hear the words "flat Earth" uttered not in ridicule by Math Powerland, and instantaneously I was like, "Yeah, that makes total sense." I mean, admittedly, I'd done a lot of international travel, so I'd spent a lot of times on planes, but it doesn't seem unreasonable to immediately come to that conclusion and go, "Yeah, that makes total sense."
Tommy's as bad as Caroline.
Caroline, did you catch all that?
I'm sorry, I caught some of it. My daughter called in the middle of what you were saying, Arwen, and I had to drop off for a second. But I heard a lot of what you said.
Okay, good. Well, Aries diffraction, optical slant effect. Looking past the flat surface, that is what does it. And the closer you get to the surface, the more the obstruction part will come closer to your line of sight. It's a very interesting optical phenomena. It's kind of surreal.
Very specific, isn't it, Arwen? Very specific.
I'm actually working on that exact video now. Funnily enough.
Caroline, you know to take Arwen with a pinch of salt, don't you?
What?
What just don't mention gravity.
I was speaking to my mate earlier about the about what I've discovered recently, and he was and as soon as I started saying to him, look, what I've discovered with the curvature, that something else can be explained for it. And I was trying to explain to him about the perspective and how it works. And the first thing he said was like, "Oh, so why would NASA lie to us? Why is NASA this? What?" And I was like, "No one put NASA into it. I'm not jumping into the NASA bit. I'm just telling you what I've investigated and what I've found to be inconsistent with what I've been brought to learn."
$52 million a day. $52 million a day.
Yeah,
$52 million a day.
Already now, he's basically putting on everything on me, like every conspiracy is on my chest now. It's like, I'm just saying, I haven't seen what was supposed to be curvature. There's another explanation for it. That's all I'm putting forward. And he starts talking about NASA and fucking why would they lie to us?
That's him getting defensive.
Exactly.
Off the rip.
No swearing.
Shout out to Patricia Steer.
It's not a turnaround, by the way. Everyone's assuming I'm a flat earther. I'm not claiming the Earth's flat. I'm just saying there is other reasons for the explanation that I've been brought up to learn.
Don't worry, Tommy. We don't claim you. Don't worry, Tommy. We don't claim you.
No, but everyone in the chat is all saying you're a flat earther. You've turned around. And you're a shill because apparently somebody acts as if they was something that it wasn't. Just, I don't know, to mislead. But I came in here full of force to defend curvature. I got fucking flattened on my argument.
Because you were the only cool guy at their party, Tommy. You were the only cool guy at their party. You had a little bit of style, a little bit of flair, but that's will always lead you to flat. And so, you were at their party for a bit, had some girls there, but then you left their party and all the girls left too. And so, it's pretty understandable.
No, it's that the cool guy is hanging out with the nerds at the party. And they're mad about that. The other jocks are mad.
No, Tommy got sent to the wrong address. He thought he was going to one party, and it was the wrong party.
It's not about me, though, is it? It's about the truth. It doesn't matter about what I think.
That's what it should be about. That's what it should be about. Yeah,
it's about what's true, and I don't care if it's flat or if it's round. I don't really care. All I know is what I've been told is curvature can be explained by perspective, and you just need to take away your beliefs on things and just look into.
But now you don't have an obsession with blue balls.
No. There's a lot of questions now. Like the gas pressure without a container is a really good one too. And there's a lot of things that are like the questions that you've the homework that you've have done, and you've come to these conclusions where there's a lot of contradictions. So to put it, it's interesting. So
just give it time, Tommy.
Do you train MMA, Tommy?
No, I do boxing.
I knew you trained one way or another. I was going to get to it at some point in time.
Why is that?
You use a lot of different terminology that's all like in the gym.
Oh yeah, because say if you know better than someone who's fresh in the gym, and then they start trying to tell you how to train, you'd be like, "What you on about? Have you ever done a day's training in your life?" No, that's what a glober is to a flat earther, really.
Yeah.
You just say, "Well, I've been doing this for a while now. This is how I got schooled at the end of the day."
You just sound you sound like you've met a few guys who have had a couple of fights on the schoolyard, perhaps, or at a bar, and then they come into the training gym and think that they're Mayweather or something like that, and then watch what happens.
And they just get battered
by a 14-year-old.
And do you know what happens? What that's called when you think you're better than what you actually are? That is the Dunning-Kruger syndrome.
They usually get taken down by a minor.
Is being stupid. It's actually technically it's not. It's thinking that you're better than what you actually are.
Once you get beat up,
pretty much every ball.
Let's talk one at a time, guys.
Gentlemen, could I please just bow out? I am at work, so I have to actually.
No, but we'll let you curtsy though.
I have to work because they're paying me to do that. So, massive thank you to the panel and to Travis for inviting me, and for you guys for believing that I was real or not believing.
We don't believe you yet. We're still you're still in hot water.
Jury's out. Okay.
Chat.
Hey. So
come back
I will be at the conference, so
cool.
That will be the evidence there.
It's great having you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
It's been nice. We'll talk to you again
come back
soon.
when you can.
Goodbye, Caroline.
Bye, Travis. I love you.
Whoa,
Not an
ow! Look at that flat Earth
I'm
love.
afraid of the guys. All right. Mwah.
Bye. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I was saying, like, it's the most humbling sport you can do. Like, you go in there, you get beat by somebody, and you have to go back home, do your work, come back stronger, and try again. And
Caroline is not real; she is artificial intelligence.
They're still working on the facial construction CGI, or?
Hey, Travis,
yeah, I bet she's wearing a prosthetic mask.
Move.
I didn't hear you say what. What'd you say?
Is that the real John? Hold on, guys. Is that the real John?
Was it Geordie? Yeah. Was that Geordie from what's his name?
Guys.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
John, is that? No, he's gone.
What was that Geordie's name? The one he said about creationism yesterday when the hangout finished. I say to him, like, bacteria that multiplies. Is that also? Is bacteria multiplying also proof of creation?
What'd you say?
Of creation?
Yeah, I was arguing with a Geordie guy yesterday. I think he's Geordie or Scouse.
What guy's that?
He's I don't know his name.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But he said that like a cell reproducing itself was proof of creation, and I've looked into a bacteria that multiplies. Is that also creation to him? I just wanted to know his view on that.
A design.
Wow.
It could be called design, because organisms recreate themselves, but it is
they try to
design.
drop it back a year, remove the goalpost.
Actually, as far as I remember from yesterday's chat, it was you that was arguing for evolution.
Yeah, well,
and what did they say that he did to her?
One becomes two. That therefore that's proof of creationism.
The what?
That was me.
If one becomes two.
That's first she said she was 17. Now she's saying she was 16. You can't have it both ways.
But you have one. You'd have also
change your story. How's she changing her story?
Who created the creator? That's what I'm saying. Where did one come from in the first place?
All life
I'm on mute.
On a cellular level, even. So that's.
Hello, can I be heard?
Yeah, I hear you.
So it was me he was talking to yesterday about evolution after the hangout.
Yeah.
So what was your point about evolution and creation?
I saw a video of bacteria multiplying, and bacteria that multiplies is that also proof of creation?
That's what I said to you yesterday. Cellular mitosis is proof of creation.
No, it's proof of procreation.
No, not procreation. There's no procreating parts.
That's what that is.
No, Arwin, shut up. It isn't. Procreation.
That's what life does.
Clean says cell division is self-replicating mechanisms, which is not quite proof.
That's called procreation.
It's like saying magnetic.
No, they're not breeding,
Arwin. Procreation. Right, Arwen, just wait out of this for a minute. You can come back with your views in a minute.
Splitting.
Okay, sorry about that.
What?
Yeah, but wouldn't procreation be creation anyway?
No, procreation is two parts, isn't it? You have a male and a female that procreate together.
Yeah, but you're creating you're creating something. Right?
Yeah, but
so wouldn't that
the thing
be
with
creation?
mitosis is that you don't need a procreating body to do it. It does it all by itself, by magic, and that's called creation. It's not called anything else other than creation, but we give it this name, cellular division, and that's nonsense. It's creation.
Well, I can agree with that.
But we're talking about a step in the entire process. That's not the creation versus evolution debate.
Well, what is
design. The design is much better because that implicates.
What is
so wait,
mitosis?
So Arwen, so you don't think a man and a woman having a baby, that's not creation?
That's procreation.
A human.
Procreation.
Exactly.
Right, but that's not creating a human that wasn't there before. Wouldn't
that
be
the same as a cell dividing?
The design. It is inherent to the design of the species. Design specifically. Creation is like a production. Basically, it's a step in a process. But that's not what it's really about. It's about the design of it all. How it can't have just formed out of itself.
I get that the broader sense of creation that you mean, but I'm talking about creation just as the word that I mean, from what it means. Creation is creating something, right?
Yeah.
So if a man and a woman have a baby, I mean, to me, it feels like that would just be creation. Yeah, we call it procreating, but that's creating a completely new human being that wasn't there before. That's all I'm saying.
Correct.
No, I'd say she created the egg, you produce the seed, and together they procreate.
Yes.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
But it is creation, though. The point was, does it come from nothing like the Big Bang tells us, or does it require something beyond chemistry?
You shouldn't have your creationism in line with just proving whether things like the Earth is flat or not. I don't think that should be.
Well, yeah, it's too different.
Because it's going to sway your opinions and things. You're going to see what you want to see. It's like you don't notice that people are driving a red car until you have a red car. When you have one and you notice everyone else is driving one, so you having that in your heart and then also looking for evidence to support that, you're going to be subject to having your opinion swayed on things.
It just so happens that there's a little story that both include flat and creation in one story,
Yeah, just so
in together with the Bible. That's the whole thing. The Bible is a very important keystone.
And it's older in age than anything that modern science has ever given us. So it's like, which is the more credible?
That doesn't make it superior.
No, but it still carries a lot of weight in the world.
You only got a metal detector, you're only going to find metal. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a detector for everything really, and go through it all. You can't just look for what you want. You can't just wean out what suits your argument, and because it fits creationism. And like you said, you're looking at something there, and you're just saying, "Oh, that is creation." And I just think that's a bit sad because it's basically just your body's going through this procedure every day. The cells are dying and reproducing every day.
Yeah, that's cell creation.
The processes of life. It has nothing to do with whether that's
where life comes from.
Nothing, or
because your cells are not sentient,
designed and then brought into being.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Where does it come from? It has to be created, and something does it. It doesn't just evolve from nothing. That was the point of the conversation after the hangout yesterday.
And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!